Yep, I think we're up. Okay, welcome back to another video. I appreciate all the support like usual. Even if I don't say it, just know that I appreciate each and every single view and every like, every comment, every subscriber, every follower. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, so that's a huge milestone. I really appreciate it. But anyways, the point of today's video is I'm probably going to title this I survived a year on a motorcycle. Kind of taking inspiration from the I survived series and books and stuff. But anyways, yeah, so it's coming about up on a year since I bought this motorcycle, my Ninja 300 2017 Kawasaki Ninja 300. So it's been about 1 year and I've been riding it for about the whole year, other than like towards like December, I would say. But even then I was like riding it a little bit in my neighborhood because I was still like practicing and trying to learn. So yeah, I would still like ride in the neighborhood and stuff because I wasn't allowed to leave the neighborhood because of that's what I said with my mom when I was buying it, because I bought it when I was still, or when I just turned 19, now that I think about it. And I just turned 20 like a week ago. So yeah, coming up on a year almost. 5 more days. So I bought it in October. I think it was October. It was either 14th or 15th or 16th or 17th, but I think it was the 15th of last year. Shout out Costa, that's who I bought it from. He was really chill. He dropped the bike off because I didn't know how to ride. Yeah, I mean, the bike had 22,000 plus miles on it, or it was like around 21,900, so pretty much 22,000 when I bought the bike. And let's see how much it is at now. It is at 27,159 miles. So doing some quick math, I've done about 22,000. I've done about 5.2 to 3K miles in the year. So I don't know, I would say that's a pretty good amount. I mean, considering I also drive and I also have a car, I would say that's a really good amount, especially for my first year. And I think it's probably just going to keep going like down as the years go on. But I'm gonna try to not let it go down, because I love riding this thing, man. And I know everybody's question they have on their minds is, when are you gonna upgrade? And to be honest with you, man, I don't think I'm gonna upgrade, at least for like 2 or 3 years, maybe even more. And even if I do upgrade, I'm still gonna keep this bike because I love it, and it lets me like somewhat not get into crazy shit. Like I can still hit like 115 on this bike, so in that sense I can get up there, but it still takes like a while to get up there. Like it has to be like a really like empty road, like where I can just go straight and actually like send it, in order for me to get up to 115. But if it's like a normal road, I could probably hit like about 100, like 90 to 100 on like maybe like a road like this. Although I probably wouldn't. I'd probably get to like 80, and then I'd start slowing down right where like that left turn lane comes in, because intersections are really a no-go. And actually, like 20 minutes before I was filming this, it was somewhat like this, but it was more of like a blind curve. And I was coming up from here, and the woman was kind of pulling out like this. Hopefully you guys can see that. I was pulling out like this. I was coming from here, so I'm the left hand. She was in the right hand, so she's coming here, and I was looking at her face the whole time. She was looking right, and then she never even looked left before she turned. But Yeah, it wouldn't have been like, I don't think it would have been a crash because I was expecting it, but it's still more like the principle of her is not even looking. I was going, I think, a little bit over, like I think I was going like 50 and a 40, but that's not like crazy enough for her to be like, oh, you were speeding, at least in my opinion. I should have slowed down, but I wasn't expecting her to just look right and then not even look left before just coming up. But yeah, I mean, anyways, that would have been a close call, but I've had a lot of close calls, mostly just stupid drivers just like not paying attention or not even like looking at like the road. They're on their phones or like they're just like doing dumb stuff. Like if there's like this single lane road where you go straight, the other dude, like, I don't know what the exact it's called, but I just call it a single lane. So you go like that, you go like this. So there's two flows of traffic, one in each direction and one lane obviously. And some dude just literally just decided to make a U-turn on that road. And I just like, it's not like a straight field of view, so it's kind of like a little bit curvy and stuff, so I didn't really see him till like I got there type beat, I mean. But yeah, it's a 55, so I was going over probably, I forgot, this was a couple months ago. And this was actually before I got my rear brake fixed too, so I literally stopped in time just using my front brake, which is pretty crazy. I mean, not that crazy because it's 70%, rear brake's only 30%. But yeah, on this bike, he didn't mention that the rear brake was absolutely cooked. Kind of wish he told me because I didn't even know about it, so I just rode with that for like a couple months and I didn't even realize, and I only got it fixed like 2 months ago. I almost did it myself, but I don't know, I could have, now that I think about it, because I could have just hammered it. That's literally the only thing I didn't do. That's what I ended up doing for these, because I learned from the guy, shout out Oliver. But those 2 rear pin hanger screws were absolutely cooked, and I think I ended up stripping them even more when I was trying to get them out because I didn't have like the exact size bit, I think, or I did, but it didn't work for some reason, because it worked on the front. The front 2 were fine, but the rear 2 were absolutely cooked, and the front pads were pretty much okay. I mean, they were coming up on the end of their life, but I decided to swap out both of them at the same time. I got the EBC like centered pads, so those should be good for like a couple, I would say like 20 to 30,000, maybe even longer, I don't know. Because I also don't only use the brakes a lot. Like if I need to slow down and I'm anticipating the slowdown, like for the most part I'll just honestly just use like I'll just engine brake and downshift, so I won't even like use the brakes that much. They're more just like of a final touch type thing, or if I'm going too fast and I need to slow down like now. Yeah, and the spark plugs were absolutely cooked as well. I had to change those. It wasn't too bad. It was honestly just getting to the spark plugs. I had to take off the crash bars, the fairing, the gas tank, literally like everything on the bike, and it took a while. It took a couple of days. I mean, I wasn't doing it like straight the whole couple of days, so I would say it probably took like 12 to 16 hours. But I was like super organized about it. I labeled every single piece and every single bolt that came off, because I was like, bro, I can't fuck this up, because if I fuck this up, then I'm literally either gonna put myself at risk or I'm gonna break the bike, or something's gonna happen. I'm gonna crash because of it. So I labeled everything. I put every single screw and every single bolt back in. And yeah, got the spark plugs changed. I've changed the oil like 3 times already. Once when I got the bike, another time after. But then I used like it wasn't like the wrong oil, but it was a high mileage oil, and I just read that it's not good to use unless like you're actually like super high mileage, because it like swells up the oil gaskets, or like the rubber pieces. So if that goes up too much, like for no reason, I mean, if you don't have any leaks, then over time it's just gonna shrink back down, and that's not good. So I decided to do an oil change, and I got the best quality oil I've gotten so far. I actually just realized too, the second time I did it with the high mileage, I wasn't even full synthetic. The first time I got K&N full synthetic 10W40, the last time, which was like 1,000-ish miles ago, maybe a little less, was I got Mobil 1T like racing fluid, and Mobil 1T racing fluid, and that's been really good. Like I mean obviously I can't really tell the difference, like it's not like an insane difference, but I'm hoping, or I'm expecting, like the performance and the longevity of it to be a lot longer, because I think I paid like $10 to $11 per liter, which is a lot. I mean obviously I did it myself, so it only ended up being like 47, like I mean like 30 to 40 bucks, which isn't bad for an oil change, considering you do it like every couple thousand miles. But that, yeah, obviously oil, like I've heard, and like I say, it's a lot cheaper than an engine, so I would rather spend that on an oil change and get everything like clean and fresh than having to replace the whole engine, because that's gonna be like, I don't even think it's worth it at this point on this bike, because I bought it for $2,500, so the engine itself and the labor, because I'm not going to be able to do that myself, I doubt it. You have to have like a bunch of like stuff to lift the engine up and all that, so I don't know if I'm even going to be doing that if it ever comes down to that. I mean, so that's going to be a lot of money. So yeah, definitely just change the oil, do stuff that you can do yourself, do it a lot if you need to, because I would rather do stuff that I can do myself to prevent stuff that I can't do myself. Yeah, getting into more back to like the riding. Actually, let me finish off the maintenance stuff. I added brake lever guards. I mean obviously they're not like a thing I use like every day, like, but it's more one of those things, like if anything does happen, they're there. And especially the brake lever guard, I mean I know it's more useful on like a track, but this essentially, like if you have this here and someone comes in like that and they hit this, it's going to prevent your brake from being pushed, so it kind of guards that in a sense. And it's more useful on a track, because if a rider comes in like that, it pushes your brake. But it's also useful on the road, I would say, in case like if you ever need to brake through like a car coming here or something, I don't know. But they also look cool, I won't lie. That's like one of the reasons, probably like 50%, like 60% of the reason that I got them. But yeah, because you just look at it like this and it looks so cool. And the clutch lever guard obviously isn't as useful, but again, they look cool, so I wanted to get both of them. And I got them on Amazon for like 38 bucks, so again, not like a crazy price, which is another reason why I got it. But yeah, those are like the only two mods, quote, that I put on like myself. The spools were the other ones. Oh my god, that thing is filthy. Damn, how's that so dirty, bro? I just cleaned this. That is filthy. Holy. Not loose, right? There we go. Gonna have to clean that later. Yeah, I've done a video like this. It's a 6-month review, but if you guys want to like see the walk around the bike, I don't want to. I'm not gonna do that again, like the whole thing. So yeah. And another thing, just make sure like you guys are tightening all the bolts and stuff, especially ones that are vibrating a lot and stuff like this. I also check up on the quad lock bolt every once in a while. Bolts, sorry. Just making sure everything's like tight and secure, because the bike vibrates a ton, so you don't want to have a screw just fall off of it like over time. Just make sure everything's like tightened and everything like that. But yeah, going back to the finishing off the maintenance. So what was that? Like I said, brakes, I changed the brake pads. I mean, I also flushed the fluid, which I didn't do properly on the back, so there was a lot of air, so I didn't have any rear brakes, and the pads themselves were actually rusted and cooked. So yeah, that was another bad part of it. So bro, yeah, and yeah, the oil I changed. Make sure you're keeping check on your oil level. I don't know why this looks a little bit more cooked, but this was coming down all the way here, basically meaning that there's air in the system, which I didn't even realize. I just thought like the spring was bad or something, because I thought I flushed it. And then the coolant, I flushed the coolant, or I swapped it out. Got most of the oil out. I should have flushed it now that I think about it, but I didn't. So yeah, got most of the old fluid for the coolant out. Yeah, and this right here, this was missing like 7 clips, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that shit out. And yeah, so 7 clips right there. Finally got it. Fixed a lot of the wind issues, so I'm glad I should have done that a while ago, but I'm glad I finally got to it. But yeah, this part is still a little bit not fully how I want it to be, but it's whatever. You can't really notice it that much. Yeah, I put a battery fender on it. Very, very important. That's the first thing I did. Because you don't want the battery to die, especially in the winter. And even on normal times, I just keep it plugged in like every time, because I don't want the battery to ever not turn on. What else? Air filter. I changed the air filter. I kept like the stock one or whatever. I just got the same foam thing from Amazon. I didn't want to put a K&N because I think it's better to keep in the stock one because it filters better. I know the K&N gives you more air, but it gives you too much air from what I've seen. That's not a bad thing if you're looking for that, but I'd rather keep the engine more protected than get like a little bit extra horsepower. So yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Oil, brakes, and then I obviously keep up to date on the tire pressure. Like a lot. I check that thing a lot. If you have a Costco membership, I would get the Fantic S100 Apex thingy because it's $40. A really good deal, and it's digital, so it's portable too. So like I could have it in my backpack right now if I needed to, but I don't because I just checked yesterday. For the Ninja 300, it's 32 psi for the back tire and then 28 for the front. So yeah, I always keep those up to date and up to check. Yeah, I just feel like it's important because that's like the only thing touching the ground in my opinion. So you should always make sure that's up to date and up to the psi. And the chain, I loop this thing a lot, like every 200 to 300, and sometimes even more if I just feel like it. It's super easy. I would definitely get a rear stand. You don't need like a pit bull. I mean, if you have the money, I would go pit bull. I'm not saying they're bad quality, but I'm saying if you don't use it like that much and you only have one bike and you're on a budget, I would say just like I got one on just off Amazon for like $60. So I got the spools for that too because I didn't want to put it under there. So I got spools, and so I just put it up like that. On that, it makes the chain cleaning a lot easier. Another thing too, for the Ninja 300, there's only 2 bolts, but this is called the front sprocket. This is the front sprocket cover. I've taken this off, cleaned a lot of gunk on there. Also, the chain ends right here, so I cleaned that a little bit sometimes, not every time, but I cleaned it once, like a deep clean. Hopefully that cop doesn't come back. What else? What was the other thing? Yeah, under this too, the chain guard, there's a lot of gunk, so I took this off, not completely, but I took it like enough to fold it back. Damn, that looks cooked. Once, and then I cleaned it under it. Yeah, and then yeah, so I got it registered. I have liability insurance on it right now. Plan is don't crash, obviously. The crash bars help with that a lot. And then I don't have a safety inspection. I probably should have gotten that, but I just was so bent on like assuming I wasn't gonna pass, which I guess I wouldn't have. Like because of the tail light. I've shown that in a bunch of videos. But yeah, so pretty much this thing is integrated. But actually, one of the shops I took it to, I was just like asking around, and he said this integrated one was fine actually, but the license plate light, this thing right here, that doesn't work. Like it works, but it's not plugged into anything. And I think the dude before me took it off, and you know I want to keep it off. There's no point in putting that back on, in my opinion. So I didn't keep it. So I was just like, I'm not doing all this because the wiring, like the cables didn't fit and everything. And I really did try to put it back on, but I'm like, I'm not doing all this because I know like the safety equipment part of it is good. And there's like a little vibration noise, but I don't know if that's just normal or I'm just paranoid. At like low speeds ish. Could be the chain. I might have to adjust the slack. That's something I haven't done yet because I think it's good. But yeah. And what else? Yeah. So going on, or moving on to the actual like riding part of it, I would definitely start on a lower CC bike, no matter how skilled or how experienced that you think you are, because at the end of the day, it's not only about you. It's just not. There's other cars on the road. There's so many cars, they don't pay attention, and 1,000 cc on the road just lets you go too fast, and it's just not smart if you're not experienced and if you're not responsible, in my opinion. And I think it's a very good opinion, because from what I've seen, I've had a couple friends pass away, not like super close friends, but friends that I met through riding, and it's just unfortunate because I know that they were on higher CC bikes, and even if it wasn't their fault, it just lets it get up them, like it just lets them get up to a speed that they can't really like grasp, and they don't really put into reality, so they never actually like understand how fast it is that they're going, and how like other cars can't even like notice them. Yeah, so I would definitely start on a 300 or 400 cc, and they're a lot, like not even comparing speed, they're a lot cheaper, a lot less maintenance, a lot cheaper maintenance too, cheaper gas. I get like 40 to 50 miles per gallon on this, so it's insane. Like the most I've ever put into this, when I was like almost at the bottom, was like $9 to $10, maybe a little bit more. I don't remember exactly. But again, just a fraction of what you would pay for gas on a car. I mean, if you're riding this thing a lot and putting in a lot of miles, though, you are going to be filling up a lot more, but you are getting a lot more value. Like if I was just riding this, like how much I rode my car, it would definitely be like 30 times, like 3 times cheaper or something like that, like 2 to 3 times cheaper. I think it's like, actually, I think it's only like a little over double. Because I think I get about like 20 to 22 in my car. So I would say that on a motorcycle, I would get double on this. Also, depending on how I'm riding it. But even when I'm riding crazy, I still get a lot. I also just put a lot, so it feels like I'm burning through the gas a lot, but I'm also getting a lot of miles back. Yeah. So I crashed the bike once, and I've dropped it twice now. And both times I've dropped it is literally on my driveway, same spot. Now that I think about it, it's just like a mix of the kickstand not being like a correct angle or just not down. And I was just looking at like a neighbor or something, getting distracted, and then I just push it to the side thinking I'm gonna put it down on the kickstand, but it doesn't go on the kickstand and it falls. But this bike is pretty light, so I've been able to lift it up, no issue. And no damage, obviously, because I have the crash bars. And on the crash bars too, these two, you see that bar end absolutely obliterated? That was from the crash, and the back one. And those actually you can replace. They're called puck sliders or whatever, and you can actually replace those. I think they're like 12 bucks or something. This one's not as bad, this side, because I crashed on this side. So yeah, this side is not as bad. I mean, that side is not as bad, but again, a very cheap fix. Even if you want to, like, you don't really need to. These still have a lot of sliding like left, in my opinion. So like, why would I replace them if they're just gonna drop at this point? I mean, like, this is cooked. that part's cooked. But a lot of these were not for me. They're from the owner before me. But yeah, thankfully it has crash bars. Oh, tired. It's so nice out. Like, I love fall. But yeah, again, because of the crash bars, and the crash wasn't like anything crazy. It was like a 10 to 15 mile an hour low side. It was just a huge patch of gravel. And like, you don't realize it when you're driving in a car. But there's so many like things on the road that are a hazard on a bike that people don't even realize. On a car, they just like drive straight past them. Like those rocks, there was like a lot more, and if there's like a lot more just in that patch, and you happen to brake a little bit too hard or get the wrong angle on that, that's enough to make you crash. But thankfully when I did crash, I was wearing the full leather suit. Right now I'm wearing armored jeans, just off Amazon, and a Joe Rocket like mesh hoodie, a hoodie underneath, Alpine Stars gloves, helmet, HACI 10, and Alpine Stars boots. So I'm not wearing like full leather right now, but that was in the beginning when I crashed, when I was still learning. But honestly, like, it wasn't like it was dumb on my part. I should have slowed down, but we were shooting some stuff with my friend, and I was like trying to give him a little extra shot at the end. I don't know why. I mean, it would have been fine. Like, I do know why, but I just didn't see the gravel. The sun was like coming down the same way it is now. Imagine that sidewalk is just covered in gravel, and it was in the middle of like a left turn and a right turn lane, and I just got unlucky in this positioning because I didn't see it, and I ended up low siding. But thankfully it wasn't bad as it could have been. I very slightly scraped my friend's car, and thankfully she was really cool about it. There was like a mark of blue on the side of the car. Again, not anything crazy, but it's about the principle. And if she wanted anything, I offered to pay, but she was really cool about it, thankfully. Because your boy's not that rich yet, so yeah. But yeah, the bike is pretty good. This reflector right here, this one's aftermarket. I got it on Amazon. I mean, I got it from a dealership, sorry. Because I got some on eBay, but those didn't fit. I got a partial refund. But that's why I don't fuck with eBay anymore. I don't mess with eBay. Like, I don't want to shop there anymore. I just don't like the return policy, and the sellers be having like the worst, like the most clickbaity descriptions. Like, it said it fit for a Kawasaki and it was $8. So I'm like, I'm gonna see, and it didn't fit. Just the bar end was too big, and it didn't fit, so it didn't work. And I still have them. He gave me $4 refund, partial refund. I mean, better than nothing, but you know, it's just unfortunate. Like, I wish I just couldn't even buy them. But if I need parts, I'm gonna just try calling dealerships now, because they actually don't scam you that bad. Like, the reflector I got was like $5.99. It was aftermarket, so it was cheaper, but it reflects, you know. Like, what more do I need? It's slightly different, which I actually don't get why. It's just like only one line split compared to this side, which this is the OEM, which has like 6. It's cut like a pizza kind of. And yeah, bike itself, I would say it's in pretty good condition. No leaks, no nothing. Even after like all the things that it has been through, so that's really crazy. But yeah, what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, so yeah, if you're gonna start out, don't start on something crazy. I don't care how disciplined you think you are. Start on a lower cc bike, because no matter how disciplined you are, if there's an empty road and you're already going 90, you're gonna want to floor it. And on this, most I can go is 115. So yeah. But going back to like actual riding and like definitely wear gear. At the bare minimum, like, you should have something covering you all the time. And gear, it does not make you invincible. Like, it does not. majority of gear is used for sliding purposes, and the armor that you wear is used for impact protection. But it's not going to save you if you're going super fast and you hit a tree or you hit a car or you crash and get a nasty high side. It's not. What's up? Yeah, I'm good. I'm just filming. Yeah, thank you though. I appreciate it. Like, it's not going to save you. Like, it's not the Iron Man suit. So yeah, wear gear, obviously. At the bare minimum, I would say wear gloves, wear a helmet, also wear earplugs. People don't talk about that, and I don't care how good you say your helmet is. I would still say just wear earplugs. I just have like disposable ones that I got. It's like $11-12 for a 50 pack, and I don't like just get rid of them after one use. I kind of see how dirty they get, and then I toss them. So if the bright orange starts fading into like a dull orange, that's when I would consider tossing them. So they last a pretty good time. Like, I've only used probably like 5 pairs in the past couple months, maybe even longer. Not even 5. It's been like only like 2 or 3. Yeah, definitely don't use one for like a really long time though, because that might give you like an ear infection or something if it gets too dirty. Yeah, and boots. I would say definitely wear boots. I don't mess with shoes while riding. These also help and make shifting a lot better. And if you do crash, this is going to help save you in the event of in the event of your ankle wanting to go in an angle that you don't want it to go in. These are definitely a must, in my opinion. And I got mine on Facebook Marketplace, so these are used. And I got them with the suit actually for $180, so it was honestly a really, really good deal, and no regrets. But yeah, if you definitely obviously have the budget for it, or if you want to make the budget for it, I would definitely say getting new boots and new gear is definitely the move. One thing I would definitely not get used is a helmet. It's just not worth it. You just don't know what's been done to it, and I need to upgrade mine too, actually. It's been a while. Well, not it's been a while, but this is the same one that I crashed in, and I probably dropped it like once. So yeah, I probably should get a new one. But you know, for now, the plan is don't crash. Don't crash is the plan. But yeah, obviously, like, I checked it and everything, like, it still feels solid. That's the only reason. Like, if I'd crashed and it's like messed up, I wouldn't just ride with that. But yeah, definitely wear gear at the bare minimum, but it's not going to make you invincible. The biggest thing that's going to save you and help you become a better and smarter and safer rider is your head. And yeah, that is literally the most important thing when it comes to riding, is your head. Damn, she turned around. She does not. No. But yeah, that is the biggest thing, is your head, and how you talk and how you react to certain situations. So just train yourself. Recognize certain patterns and intersections. Recognize like danger zones. Make yourself aware of those patterns and react accordingly. If you need to slow down for an intersection, slow down. Be careful of cars behind you, obviously. That's why I feel like if I started right there, that's why I feel like sometimes riding fast and riding aggressive is actually safer. Because if I came from over there and I was at like the red light and I'm in the front of traffic and I hit like 80 and then I start slowing down like near where those flags are back there, and for this intersection right here, I would probably, what's the speed limit, 35? I would probably go like under 35, maybe even slower if I see something that's like a red flag, like a car peeking out, someone not paying attention that you can tell, or if there's like road hazards, or if there's people working, if there's anybody even in sight. You know, I would just slow down completely, because if you're going that fast, you need to slow down when you come to here, because it's just not worth it at the end of the day. Like, save your speed for something where it's super fast, and then when you go there, you don't want it to come like, you don't, because right there there's no cars that are coming in, but right here there's a car that can come here, come here, come here, but back there there's nothing. So if you're gonna speed over there, slow down for over here, because this is actually where you can get fucked up. There's no like good nice way to put it. Obviously going speed limit helps, but going speed limit all the time I feel like is honestly more dangerous. I feel like riding a little bit faster than the flow of traffic and keeping yourself with like a new pair of like fresh cars keeps you in their mind. Like if you're riding next to that car for like 30 minutes, even if your bike's loud, I feel like it comes to a point where they might forget that you exist. They forget that you're there. And that's why I feel like going fast and kind of getting yourself in good spots is smart. And you can say what you want about that. At the end of the day, I just feel like if you're gonna break a law, break the written laws, not the laws of physics. I'm stealing that from Elon. But I agree, you know. I mean, obviously I'm not talking about all laws. I'm not saying like go kill somebody, like go steal stuff. But all I'm saying is sometimes the law needs to be broken, and it has to be broken, because sometimes it's not gonna help you sometimes, and that's why I feel like being a semi-aggressive rider and driver is the way to go. That's what I feel like it is. And that's just my opinion. I mean, I respond to all the comments, so if you have anything that differs from that, I would love to hear your point of view. Yeah, the main thing, just be smart. For intersections are really deadly. That's where most motorcycle, like even normal crashes happen. You see that? Like if you look at him right there, and if he's paying attention. But the lady earlier, she was looking right. I think she probably looked left like a lot earlier, but she started turning as she was looking right, which I don't get, because the first check you should do is left, and then you check right. So I don't know why you're making a left turn looking right. It's just kind of pointless in my opinion. But I just had something on my mind. Oh yeah, red lights and intersections. Even if it's green, still look left, still look right, because there could be someone running it. There could be someone, put it into bike perspective, there could be a bike running from the cops blowing through that red light, and there comes to a point where if he's going fast enough, even if you check, you might not even see him. But hopefully when you check, you see it and you're able to brake, or you're able to speed up and get out of there normally than you would have. So yeah, don't trust other people, don't trust lights, and don't trust stop signs. Think of it as if everything's just not working, if that makes sense. Don't rely on them for the most part, as much as you can. Try to stay like everyone's out to get you. Don't ride like you're invisible. I forgot what's his name. There's some dude on YouTube, he had like a lot of views on those videos, but I agree with him. Don't ride like you're invisible. What I mean by that is, like, don't make yourself visible. Don't ride like you actually are invisible, is what I'm saying. And if you're behind a car, like if you're behind that car, there might be a certain angle where somebody might not even see you behind that car. So make yourself visible, position yourself for safety, and if you're in the right lane here, like if these cars right here, you want to be like as far right as you can in the lane so that they can see you. Because if they don't see you and you go straight and a car comes like that, somebody might come in and just hit you like that, because they might not even see you. So position yourself for safety. Don't just ride behind a car. And even when you're stopped, if lane splitting isn't legal for you, the best thing you can do is lane split. Not okay, but the best thing you can do is, if you're in that lane right here and there's a car like right there, if the car is here, you want to either be like as far right as you can or as far left as you can. And that's so if you get rear-ended, you don't get just pushed into the car, and you kind of have like a sort of like an escape route to go left or right, or you get pushed off to the left or pushed off to the right. But obviously use your own judgment. If you feel it's safer to be in the middle in certain situations, then be in the middle. And if you feel it's safer to be on the side, the left or the right side, then be on the left or right side. And that's just what I would say, because sometimes they might not even see you. So yeah. And what else was I gonna say? Don't ride next to semi trucks, because the wind gust definitely affects you for too long. Go past them and move over. And don't road rage with anybody. It's not worth it at the end of the day. Do not road rage with anyone. Just, if somebody does something, just, it's whatever. Don't cry about it, and just move on. And yeah, if they confront you about it, just don't say anything. If you have to, then say something, but don't try not to escalate it, because at the end of the day, they are in the 4,000-pound car. You are on a 400, 300-pound bike at the end of the day. So who's gonna win that fight? I mean, yeah, you guys should be able to make that for yourself. Judgment for yourself. Another thing, use Waze when you're riding, because it tells where the cops are at, and it also tells you where other people are at too. I mean like construction, like stuff like that. You got to be aware of what's going on at all times, and especially for stuff ahead of you. So yeah, definitely being aware of stuff in front of you and of stuff that's about to come is definitely important. What else? Let's see. Riding at night is definitely something that's I've definitely ridden at night, and I do ride at night occasionally, but it depends on the circumstance. Don't ride at night too much, in my opinion, because it makes people harder to, like, people can't see you as well. But even forgetting other cars, like, let's say there was 0 cars on the road, you still can barely see shit. Even with a clear visor, you can barely see anything. Like, you have to use your high beam a lot. But even with your high beam, like, there's only so much you can see ahead of you. Then for that reason, I just don't think it's as smart and as smart as riding during the day. But on the highways, if it's illuminated and stuff, it's not the end of the world. Like, if there's lights and everything, or if there's other cars, it's not too bad. But I would definitely not go too crazy at night. Like, think of like riding a motorcycle as, like, you want to make it to the next, like, think of the long term. Yeah, best way to put it. Don't ride in rain as much as you can. Even if you can, I know you're gonna get caught in it occasionally, because you're gonna think it's not gonna rain, but it's gonna rain, and you're gonna get stuck in the rain. So don't panic. Try to be smooth with your inputs. I've ridden in the rain twice now. Don't go too fast, obviously. Go under the speed limit. And be careful with cars tailgating you. That's another thing, is if you feel that you're in an unsafe position, pull over at a safe spot. Let people behind you just get in front of you, get out of your ass, and now ride. And even when it's not raining, I just mean, like, whenever. You own the road, you know what I'm saying? You can do whatever the fuck you want. So if there's somebody behind you that you don't like, and you don't like that situation, literally just pull over, let them pass, and then start riding. And it's a new situation that you created for yourself that is something that is more safe, better, and it's just a less of a nightmare. Like, think of when you're riding, but you're riding without insurance. I guess that's technically what I'm doing. Like, I don't have full coverage, so if I crash it, then I have to pay for it, like, from my own pocket. But yeah, think of it like that. That's the best way to put it. I think insurance and gear give people a false sense of safety, and they end up doing things that they wouldn't do if they didn't have either of those. And I'm not saying don't get either. Like I wear gear, and I have liability insurance. So yeah, but kind of think you don't have either of the two. That's the best way to put it, in my opinion. Act like you don't, because they are not a miracle. Insurance companies want to give you as less as they can. They're pretty much a scam, and gear is not going to save you from doing absolutely dumb stuff. It's going to save you for low side crashes and even like somewhat normal crashes, but they are not going to save you from riding like an absolute clown, lane splitting through cars, doing absolutely stupid stuff. There's a time and place for everything, and if you want to go fast, find a good time. I would say Sunday mornings is probably the best time from what I've seen, like early Sunday mornings, or Sunday night. That's like a one sort of exception I would make for riding at night. But even then, I wouldn't go on like roads you can barely see anything. I would wait and find a good road. But yeah, riding at night is one of those things that you don't want to do often, in my opinion. I mean, it's not the end of the world, like I said, but it definitely makes your circumstances harder. And why would you want to do that for yourself if you don't have to, you know? Like, if you're feeling a ride, like I've done this, I'm not going to say I just don't ride at night at all. I have ridden at night, and I have done it, and I like doing it because it just feels a lot different vibe than what it is now. But you got to understand that it's a lot riskier and a lot less safe than riding during the day. I don't even know how long I've been talking for, but I would say it's a lot of good content. And I would say watch people like Dan the fireman, and I watch other accidents to see what goes wrong in them and see how you can prevent those. Yeah. So the three most important things are your head, making sure the bike is good, making sure it's safe and there's nothing that could create a possible hazard for you, and wearing gear, and riding smart. Like, if you would just wear a full suit and then don't take care of your bike and then it crashes and then you're like, oh, the gear saved me. I mean, yes, it did. Like, if you didn't wear gear there, you probably would have been fucked. But the cause of it was you being dumb and relying on the gear instead of actually fixing your bike. And if you feel like your bike is not safe to ride, then don't ride it, you know? There's no point riding on a bad day and messing up the good days ahead when you can just not ride on the bad day and go ride on the good days that are gonna come up in the future, you know? Damn, I didn't know I just turned into a philosopher. But yeah, dude, I didn't mean to talk this long. I do apologize, but like I said, it's a 1 year survival video, and I'm really tired of seeing all the people. I'm sad. Everybody who dies and everybody who passes away riding a motorcycle, because shit sucks, man. I'm sorry to anybody who's been affected by anybody who's passed away on a motorcycle, but I have to say this, at the end of the day, you have to be better. You have to be a better rider. You can't rely on cars, you can't rely on other cars, you can't rely on people to do the right thing. You have to be aware. You have to discipline yourself. You have to be smart. You have to be responsible. And there's a lot of crashes that I've seen that are the rider's fault. But on a bike, it doesn't matter whose fault it is, because if you crash, you're the one who's going to be fucked for the most part. So, yeah. There's no other easy way to put this. Do better and wear gear. It's the best advice I can say. Train yourself, take the MSF course, get your license. That's the other thing I forgot to say earlier. I have everything for the bike. I have a license, I have a registration, insurance. The only thing I don't have is a safety inspection. But again, I mean, I know the bike is in solid condition, so that's the only reason I'm like not pushing it, because I don't want to do all that for the light and everything. I don't really care, you know. So yeah, take your license, take the MSF, practice in the parking lot, keep yourself in the neighborhood when you buy it. Don't get too overconfident. Don't get too cocky. Don't get too comfortable. Yeah. Really the best way to put it. Learn the bike. Learn how much space you take up. Learn how much it does and how much, you know, how the speed works, how the throttle works. Practice slowing down really fast and also practice accelerating really fast. Find a nice road, and I probably said this in a video before, but there was this one road that I actually got really lucky with, but it was a fairly new road, and I took a broom, I cleaned up everything, like every speck, even if there was a speck of dust on the road, I took it off with the broom, and I sweeped everything off, and I practiced riding hard. I got up to like 80, and I practiced slowing down as fast as I could too. It was just a road like this, but with no intersections, and it was this fairly new road, so there's barely any cars, so it was honestly super perfect. But I practiced slowing down fast, I practiced accelerating fast, and those two skills have been really, really helpful, because essentially slowing down really fast is emergency braking, and as you ride more and practice more, you're also going to want to learn like rev matching, and also shifting fast, as well as like rev match downshifting while you're braking, because that's ultimately the fastest way to slow down. And if I'm wrong, please correct me, but from at least from what I've experienced and what I've seen, braking while downshifting is probably the quickest way. You gotta like also learn timing. You gotta be smart with it. You don't just click down to first while you're going like 70 miles an hour. You have to kind of match it down as you match it up, and be smart with it. Yeah. Again, if you guys have any questions no matter how dumb you think it is, please comment down below, because I love answering stuff. So yeah. Oh man. All right, I swear if I'm not recording, I'm gonna crash out. Bro, I think I just talked for like, how long will I talk for? It's been a while. It's been like an hour, really? Bro, I'm a fucking yapper. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's gonna be a bit of a longer one. I'm gonna probably keep it. I'm keeping everything I said, because everything I said I feel is important. So feel free to skip through the video. I know this is the end, but yeah, I will catch you guys later. Bye. Okay, I forgot to say this in the hour-long documentary that I was talking about earlier, but in your back seat, especially if you buy it used, you might not get tools to take apart your bike. So yeah, make sure you keep like your registration, insurance, like a waterproof-ish bag, and then I just have like hex keys and a screwdriver bit, so I take obviously you can't take the whole bike apart, but those are enough to get me to the battery in case anything happens there. It's also enough to just take out some other stuff. And I also got some extra earplugs just in case I lose my other main ones. But yeah, just thought I'd add that real quick because I forgot to say it earlier.